What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. Show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics. Jack, have you gone through that with your kids yet? Jack Thomas Care
We
Orthodontic Care?
we are getting close. In fact,
Getting
they
close? Well, Village
sponsor this,
Orthodontics. That's where you got to
and
go, okay?
yeah, they sponsor quite a bit around Dunwoody. My
They
son
do.
wears one of their T-shirts. He's got a U.S. soccer T-shirt from
Yeah.
from
Yeah, and
them.
they're on
So
the Rush Union jerseys, too.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Dr.
Yep.
Brett's everywhere. Yeah, it's funny. So I was researching this podcast and kind of figuring out who I was going to talk to, and me and Jack have plenty in common. We're going to talk about Rotary today. We're going to talk about Mosquito Joe, but yeah, both of our kids go to Cornerstone, and they're buddies. They're friends. So I was doing a little research on him upstairs, and my son said, "That's Jack's dad." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Wow, that's funny. Small world, small world." Um,
indeed.
yeah, so let's go. Let's start with Rotary because I don't know a
Sure.
whole lot about Rotary, and so I'm going to kind of go in blind here. You tell me what Rotary is.
Sure. Well, Rotary is the largest service organization in the world, couple million members. The Rotary motto is service above self. So, as a Rotary member, you are committed to serving the community and really the world. So, I mean, we've done everything from, providing school supplies to children locally who are victim or whose parents are victims of human trafficking, internationally. The Rotary is very involved in trying to eradicate polio. It's down to really just a couple of cases a year, normally over in Afghanistan or Pakistan, areas that are difficult to get into. But
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 there's
again,
Rotary everywhere, huh?
there's
All
Rotary,
across
yeah,
the world.
all over the world. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I've been on a four wheeler in the jungles of Mexico, riding through and look off to my right and see a Rotary wheel and turn
That's
around
fun.
and say, oh wow, okay, that's the local Rotary Club out here, and literally like just a dirt road in the jungle riding on a four wheeler. So
Yeah.
Rotary has tentacles all over the world. So
Awesome. That's really cool. And you're the outgoing, what is it? Outgoing president? You're the club president, right?
yes, I am the officially now. The Rotary year starts July 1st. So as of July 1st, I am the immediate past president. I
Okay.
served last year, so July of 23 through June of 24.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
let's cut and get the new guy on then. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. New
um,
lady,
yeah.
Luis.
Oh, new
Yep.
lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then is it like an order where the vice president goes to president and kind of moves on up, or how does that work?
Yeah, so our club does a really good job. I mean, as president, we have a succession plan, basically 3 years in advance. So the club secretary will be the president in 3 years. So it goes
Okay. So they
secretary,
all,
you have a president nominee, a vice president slash president elect, and then president. So,
so
so
you've
there's
done
a
your
good.
time,
I've served my time. I'm
put
on
some
the board
time into
one more
Rotary.
year. Yeah. I'm on the board one more year as the immediate past president,
Yeah.
but it's good. Good experience.
Okay, so you focus on service organization. I mean, focus on service as service organization, and then like when people come in, what do they speak on? Do they kind of speak on business? Is it like a networking type of thing? You learn about each person, and
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's both. We meet every Friday here in Atlanta at the Embassy Suites over
okay,
close to Target and Joey D's for the people here in Dunwoody.
yep,
So we meet there every Friday. We have speakers that kind of run the gamut. I mean, we'll have the mayor of Dunwoody, Lynn Deutsch, the last several years and next few years, come in and tell us about the city. We have developers come in and maybe talk about High Street or Gray Studios over in Doraville while that's getting going. Sometimes we'll have, Mr. Bluestein from the AJC come in and talk about, what's happening in the world of politics. We've had Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State, come in and speak. So we'll have various speakers throughout the year running the gamut. Sometimes it's nonprofits who are just telling us what they're doing in the world.
yeah,
Other times it's, some of the people I just mentioned. When it comes to the networking side, a lot of the networking that's done through Rotary is done while you're serving.
yeah,
So if it's your, I don't know, we have an island across from the Dunwoody Library that we clean up. It's called Bounds Gardens. We do that probably once a quarter, but you get out there and you're pulling weeds with people and
yeah.
putting bags of debris up, and you just start talking. Hey, what do you do? And and that's really how you'll start to know people better. We've done things like drive the bus for the Butterfly Festival over at the Dunwoody Nature Center. um, various things around like I said, our community. But through
Yeah.
serving is usually when you'll get the business interactions. You'll get them through the meetings. I mean, we have 15 minutes of meet and greet before the meeting where everybody's kind of chit chatting. We also once a month have something called Rotary Means Business, which is
Hmm.
good because it's not just our Rotary Club here in Dunwoody. It's throughout our district, which is about a third of the state of Georgia, really, is our district. But that North Metro Atlanta, we come together. We'll
Okay.
meet up oftentimes at Politan Row and just mingle, talk business. So that's more of a business networking opportunity there.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's, I mean, networking, but you're doing stuff at the same time. That's a good way of doing it. Um,
Yep.
okay, well, where did Mosquito Joe? You started, was it 2014? Is that right?
Yeah.
How
Well,
did you get into that?
we were well. My background's commercial banking, so
Okay,
I worked at First Citizens Bank right over there
it's a
by
little different.
Starbucks. It's a little different. Yeah. So I
Hmm.
was in banking right out of college, which is what brought me here to Atlanta. Originally from Birmingham, Alabama. But anyway, so that banking brought me to Atlanta, was in commercial banking at First Citizens Bank right next door to Starbucks over there off Dunwoody Village. And I sat there for I don't know, 14, 15 years dealing with business owners. So I was
Mm,
constantly talking with business owners about their financing needs, if it was real estate or equipment or whatever it may be. And you'll see businesses and you're having to get financials every year and see how they're doing. And you're kind of quasi consulting with them as well as, their needs change.
yeah.
So through that, I was thinking, I need to get my own business one day. I mean, I was the kid that I wanted to be an astronaut, and then eventually you realize, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So, and then I didn't
Professional
really,
athlete. I mean, looking at both
yeah,
of us,
yeah,
that's probably off the
yeah,
table.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So anyway, once you come to reality of, okay, well, you need to go to college and do something, and truly, I was a guy who never knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Kind of fell into banking. I saw my father; he was in sales, but he was at a different level. So he's taking people to baseball games and stuff. I was, hey, I want to go into sales.
Yeah.
That looks fun. And
Is that all it
then you
is?
realize, yeah, then you realize you don't just take people to sporting events; you actually got to work. But anyway, it's a long-winded way of me saying I was looking at different things, different businesses. I knew that I wanted to do something eventually. And our daughter, who was, I mean, she's now 11, but back then she was like 1 or 2 years old. I was looking at different concepts for businesses. I started to look at some franchising. I just remember she was just a baby. We put her to sleep on a bed while we were visiting my wife's family in South America, actually. But the window was open and she got destroyed with mosquitoes, and she's
Oh,
very
wow.
allergic to them. So she kind of welts up. And then Mosquito Joe opportunity came around. It's a franchise, and Atlanta was wide open. I just thought, wow, that's something I would pay for, and if it works, like, okay, how do
Yeah.
I know it works? So that was my biggest thing. Like, you got to show me that this actually works. Cause my dad was a guy that was buying everything under the sun, from the
Yeah.
blue light to some propane machine to whatever to try to get rid of mosquitoes, and nothing ever worked. So okay, you got to prove to me that this actually works. And if it does, then I'm really interested. So yeah, I mean, that's how we got into it. It was something that I thought personally would be of use to other people, certainly with young families like me. And that's a huge demographic for us. The people who
Yeah.
are outside, they spend money getting a fire pit and a beautiful backyard, but they're getting torn up by mosquitoes, or they got the trampoline out there for their kids or the play set. So so often it's tied to kids and animals. They don't want their
Yeah.
dogs to have fleas, and they don't want their kids to get torn up by mosquitoes. So
And the service works. We started like, I don't know, it was maybe like 5 years ago, and we weren't sure if it was actually going to work, but we did
mm-hmm.
it. And then a bunch of our neighbors had signed up too with different companies, and
Mm-hmm.
it made a huge difference. In fact, we've kind of cut back a little bit now because we feel like we hope we, at least in our head, we get carryover from the other
Yeah,
yards. And so, but yeah, my kids get bit up real bad as well. And so we've
yeah.
got a drainage ditch, like, so all the water from the street kind of ends up in our backyard, and it's a little soggy most of the time, like down in the creek. And so
Mm-hmm.
it does a lot. It definitely does a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it really all comes down to standing water. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
enemy. Everybody sees us and hears us when we're out there with the blowers. They're loud, makes a lot of noise. So that's what gets people's attention. But walking the yard and trying to treat standing water to kill the mosquito larva is the key. Man, that's the key
Yeah.
to the service. So if we can get that, then we hopefully stop the breeding cycle. So
Yeah.
that's the goal. Yep.
Yeah. And so, how did your knowledge from banking tie into it? You were looking at other people's numbers for so long. Is this kind of what you
Yeah.
expected as a small business owner? Are you taking your own
Well,
advice?
yeah, well, banking was a great career for that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like an internship, right? You're learning through other people.
What they do
Eh,
right, what they do wrong, probably
yeah,
more from what they
absolutely.
do wrong.
Well, yeah, but so as a commercial banker, I mean, we have to, before you take a loan to an underwriter, you have to know that it has a pretty good chance of being approved. They
Right.
don't want you to sit there and waste their time. They track that. If I keep sending stuff that gets declined, then that gets a bad reputation. Plus, management's going to say, "Hey, you're wasting people's time. Stop sending trash." So you
Right.
have to vet it, and not only do you have to vet it, you have to tell the story. Like, hey, these are the key employees. This is the succession plan. This is what makes them successful. These are their largest clients. But part of the story um, that was kind of my favorite question to ask was, how did you get into it? We started in 2014 is when we formed the company. 2015 is when we actually started servicing the area. I did both. I was in commercial banking and we had Mosquito Joe going for about 5 or 6 years there. My wife helped run the office some of those years. Still have her, a lady who's ran our office for 10 plus years now. But in 2021, it got to a point where I was able to walk away from Mosquito Joe and do this full time, or I'm sorry, walk away from the bank
From
and be
bank,
able
I
to
got
do
that.
Mosquito Joe full time. So it was kind of a safe version
Yeah.
of walking away. Fortunately,
When you
we
have
were
a
able to
family, you
see it
can't
grow.
just walk away from a job. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's
And any
too.
small business,
Yeah,
you're going to put a lot of time in at the beginning, though. And
yeah,
it's tough to get stuff like that started. I have severe ADD, and so I've had lots of different businesses over the years. Some of them work well, some of them don't, and
yeah.
it keeps me occupied though.
Yeah, no, I mean, it certainly kept us busy. I mean, it still keeps us busy, but it certainly kept us busy. And we had newborns. I mean, it was bath time was my time where I would start
That
pulling the
was right
daily
when you were
numbers.
having the kids. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, my wife would be in there giving them a bath, and I'd be pulling all the numbers, and I would get in trouble because then I wasn't helping after bath time because I'd get all tied up with
yeah,
Mosquito Joe stuff. But there was a lot of, I would work that at night, and then we'd do the bank during the day and raise a family. It was busy. It's still
yeah.
busy, but it was
Live
really
that
busy
life.
then.
But
Yeah,
okay, so there's probably not going to be a whole lot of Mosquito Joe owners of the franchise on podcast at all. So this might be an opportunity
yeah,
to say, I mean, did you enjoy the franchise? You're obviously doing pretty well if your son's at my kid's
yeah,
school.
yeah,
There you got two kids
yeah.
at that school.
Well, yeah, yeah.
You're happy with your
No,
choice?
yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate. We got in as well in the industry when it was fairly new. There wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of competition. There's a way more competition these days than there was back then. But we were able to get a foothold in the market
Mm,
and get our customers. We do our best to be to have the ethics that we would want to experience as a consumer.
yeah.
I mean, you have an issue, fix it. We don't claim to be perfect, but we will own our mistakes if we make them. We're not trying to get anything over on anybody. We want all our customers to be 100% happy. And if we do that, then big picture wise, they're going to go tell their friends, which is the
Absolutely.
cheapest form of advertising we can get, right? So that's our main goal. We want our customers to be extremely happy and extremely loyal. And there's a lot of ingredients that go into that. And it's
Yeah.
easier said than done to make sure all of our employees within the organization have that. But that's the culture that we strive for. So,
Yeah. Well, the culture here in Dunwoody is to not enjoy loud noises. So do
yeah.
you ever get those calls if you're there before 8 o'clock?
Yeah, we get them. I mean, I'm here in my office here in Dunwoody. Somebody's blowing leaves outside, so I hope it's
Yeah.
not
It's
coming
all
through here. So
the
that's a
community
micro.
forum is just constantly people talking about blowers going but we have a beautiful
Yeah,
community. And so there's kind of a middle ground there, right? We're mosquito
yeah,
free. and we have beautiful yards.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's certain neighborhoods, there's noise ordinances. So usually, before 8 o'clock, we can't get out there. Saturdays we try to start a little later because if we treat on Saturdays are mainly schools, in particular that have kids there during the week that we can't get to,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
And you're at
But yeah,
soccer on Saturdays too. So
yeah. We're at soccer. It's coming up again. We just had some,
yeah.
games last week, tournament this weekend. So nothing like
And
soccer in August.
yeah, and then just add another ad here for Rush Union, who both of our kids play there, and we just
Yep.
love it. It's just, and it's across the street from us, so
Hmm.
I hope my son stays there forever. Rush Union's been very good to us. But yeah, ours
Yeah.
started last week. We had our first games this week, and then I'm starting to coach Micah's team. Micah's got a rec team. He's doing under 14, so full field. I guess Jack was
Okay.
probably there last season, doing full field
No,
last
no,
season.
this is his first. Yeah,
This
this
is
is
his
his first
first.
season. Yeah,
That's
so
a
that was
big,
their
big
first.
difference.
Yeah, a lot more real estate to cover.
Yep.
So you got
Yep.
four more kids running around instead of 9 on 9. It's 11 on 11, but a lot more
Yeah.
real estate. It pretty much doubles. So
But we love it there. And it was funny. I don't think we've mentioned this on the podcast. I think we talked about it before, but I actually coached your son when he was probably like
hmm
5 over by the Marist, the Cowart YMCA.
yeah, yeah,
When it
yeah,
wasn't raining, when it would rain there, practice would always get canceled. Games would always get canceled. That's why I had a
yeah.
problem with those fields, and I love Brook Run so much because nothing gets canceled.
Brook Run's great. I mean, Brook Run soccer field back when you were coaching at the YMCA was not there, right? I
Yeah,
mean, Rush Union, which was known
2020,
as
I think it started.
yeah, it was known as the Chiefs back then. It was at Personal
Yeah,
Park, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, I knew your face when we did
small
this. I
world.
was like, man, you look familiar. But
Yeah,
as I said earlier, for you, it's always a picture of you coaching soccer, holding the newborn on your chest on your shoulder here.
yep.
That's my
We had
memory of
newborns the
you.
same time you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Who's now, you said, 9 years old, right?
yep. I got
9.
9, or he's about to turn 9, and the other one's about to turn 13.
Yeah,
So yeah, they grow up fast. Grow up very
they
fast.
do. They do grow up fast. Yep,
All right, so
indeed.
I guess let's try to wrap it up. If you want to go to Rotary Club of Dunwoody, you can easily find that online. If you want to reach out to Mosquito Joe here, you get called Mosquito Joe a lot.
I get called Joe a lot, that's for
Joe,
sure. But
yeah.
yeah, the name's Jack, not Joe, but I'll go by Joe. It's fine. I answer to
As
many
long as they
things.
call you, right? They can call you whatever they want as long as they call you.
That's right. Yeah, and for Rotary, it's dunwoodyrotary.org, and yeah, we meet Fridays at 7:15, and we'd love interested parties to come and join us for a meeting.
Yeah, and Mark Galvin put this together. He was with Discover Dunwoody. Discover Dunwoody is
That's
now
right.
sponsoring the show. They've got a paid ad on here, which I'll insert that ad. So the more sponsors we bring in, the more I feel like I have to send them web traffic. So I've really worked on my What's Up Dunwoody page. Feel free to check it out. And as I'm adding pages or adding posts to my website, I'm constantly like looking for information all over the web. And pretty much anything that I Google shows up Dunwoody related, shows up on Discover Dunwoody. That's the number one page, whether it's sponsored or not. They're doing a great job of getting in front of the community, getting in front of people entering the community in every way possible. They've got the most information there. So if you do want to find out pretty much anything about Dunwoody, the city of Dunwoody website and the Discover Dunwoody websites are huge. And if you've got somebody that's coming to town, somebody that is going to stay local, say you don't have an extra bedroom to put your family in, you're going to want to stay at the NA Dunwoody Hotel. There's 10 of them to choose from. I was doing the research yesterday. They're all good choices, but when you are ready, go to discoverdunwoody.com/what's up Dunwoody. That way they know I'm sending the web traffic to them. Lots of different options, great options, but make sure you use that What's Up Dunwoody tag.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having us here. Rotary is a great organization, is what I'd really like to get across to your listeners. We would love to have any visitors come and join us. They are welcome to come join us. Like I said, every Friday we're there at the Embassy Suites, and except for the third Friday of the month,
Except for the
but
third,
every
which
other
is party day,
Fridays.
right?
Yeah, that's party day. We're meeting the night before somewhere around Dunwoody to socialize.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah.
I love that you bounce around and you visit all the different businesses.
hmm
Um, well, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Jack. Tell your Rotary friends. We'll try to have more of you guys on because this is, I mean, kind of a flow of guests if we need it, right?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Everybody wants to be on a podcast.
we got a lot of members, and typically speaking, they're fairly involved here in the city of Dunwoody.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I was looking at this list. There's a whole bunch of people on here that I know, and I need to get
yeah,
to know better. So, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. It's good talking to you.
I thank you. Appreciate it.